Next week, we're going to have Valerie Roller. She's going to be here at 3:15, and it's going to go till the whole hour. She's going to have another biker person. So if you guys can be on here, it'll be great. So she's booked for sure.
Okay, George, take it away.
Welcome to your Chips and Salsa show for Tuesday. This is Don Jorge El Alacran with we're on Zoom with Alice Lara from New Mexico and Mr. Zeke Rodriguez from New Mexico. So I'm going to shoot it on to Alice to open the show. Alice, it's yours.
Hola, chipsteros, chipsteras, the Chips and Salsa Arizona audience. And now we're kind of integrating things. We have a Chips and Salsa show New Mexico audience. I'm Alice Lara, and my co-host here is Zeke Rodriguez.
What's up?
And we're ready to walk on today. Lots of stuff, plenty of stuff to talk about. And just a reminder, we are making preparations, and our official premiere of the Chips and Salsa show New Mexico, I think that's pretty much what we're going to call it,
Yep.
Will be February 21st. Do I have the date right, Zeke?
Yes.
And we might have some special plans like the day before to do kind of a little, I don't know what you'd call it.
Podcast?
We're going to have a lot of people, we're going to invite people to come down here possibly to our studio and just be a part of it, like a forum. Yeah, it'll be like a forum.
Yeah.
And that way you guys can connect with some of our New Mexico audience, and we'll invite George to come on. So we're working on it. We don't want to say definite what's going on until we totally confirm it. But
Right.
we appreciate your patience, and
So we're looking at the 21st, Alice?
most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then we'll let you know, possibly the Arizona show will go first, and then New Mexico or something like that.
Yeah, because it'll be a couple hours.
And Zeke, we got a lot of good response from our last show.
We did. A lot of people have been tuning in. What you guys built is awesome. And yeah, looking forward to bringing it over here, migrating everybody. Just people are thirsty for this kind of stuff. Just real talk, down to earth. Everybody can relate these issues. No one's talking about them. So people just gravitated towards it right away. I was very surprised by it, the positive response. And so here we are. We're going to keep it going, keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out. I just joined the DACFRW. That's Doña Ana County Federated Republican Women's Club. And I got up there for a few seconds to promote it, and they're excited about it. You know, our ward, we have one of the biggest wards here. It's like the district in Arizona, the LDs in Arizona. And we're getting good response on that from some of those people too. So we're just, moving and grooving out here, man.
Mhm.
It's going to be awesome, George. Going away.
No, it looks like it's gonna be very, very successful. We have two good shows, and we're right now we got them interspliced with each other, but in the future we'll split them to make two complete shows. And the more we do, the more it's going to be the people will be getting a double the buck or double the thing for their buck.
Double the chips and salsa. What could be better?
Double the chips and salsa. Hey Eric, you want to come see over here? I want to show him the screen here.
Yes, shout out to Eric Williamson, our sound engineer. He's a technical guy that's putting all this together. Thank you very much.
Sir.
I don't know if that came out. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're just doing a little technical thing here because there was something on the screen. So,
George,
so yes.
I have to ask you about the elections, the Arizona GOP elections that just happened.
Yeah, it turned out great. The results were great. I had to be at the getting ready for the Super Bowl, but all indications is that what we got was Jeff DeWitt is our new chairman, Chairman Jeff DeWitt for Arizona. He's got a great line of people assisting him, people that are very knowledgeable. You know, he ran a $1 billion fundraising company. So it's like he can raise the money and he can rally the troops. And so he's going to come in the future, either by Zoom or in person, to rally the troops here in Arizona through our show. That'll be just one of his ways. He'll do it in other ways too, because he's very knowledgeable in the media. So
I have to say that, you know, you and I knew Jeff DeWitt from a long time ago. In fact, I think we went to, it was when he was first going to run for president or something of Arizona in Sun City. Great guy, very big Trump supporter, super personality. I think he'll do a great job. You know, we did talk to Lori Martinez last week, and she on her Facebook, she gave him congratulations, and she's going to be, you know, a supporter, which is what we need as Republicans and conservatives to stick together. So I feel really good about what you guys did. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Lori was a great guest. She was a good candidate, and kudos to her. She means well. She's a good Republican, Latina, Hispanic. I got to remember out there is Hispanic, right? Zeke.
Yeah, I'll figure out why. I don't know what the governmental.
Yeah, to me, Latino, Hispanic, it all to me is the same. But you know, different areas like it, different pronunciation. So we'll get that together. We had a good interview with her. She's still with the Republican Hispanic organization. I don't know if she had to step down, but if she didn't, she'll be helping run that, you know, for I think Arizona, right? Alex?
Yeah, Arizona, I think it's called the Arizona Hispanic Assembly. It's a Republican National Hispanic Assembly, the Arizona chapter.
Right.
We have one here, right?
We do.
Who runs that?
Ronnie in Albuquerque. Yeah.
We need to have him on.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's gonna go far. Hispanics, Latinos, we have to be a voice in the Republican Party, and the Republican Party knows that, as well as the Asians have their organization is ramped up. If everybody gets together, and also the African American population has their groups. We're bringing all these groups together, and hopefully 2024 is going to be something that's going to, I think we could carry this. And with Chairman DeWitt's, you know, help and leadership, I think we can make this happen. We have all the tools needed, and our chairman knows how to use those tools, as well as Turning Point USA is going to be involved, and they have the tools that's needed. We got a lot of resources. We just have to put them together, and everybody's got to work together as a team. What happened in 2020, I think, was a little bit of infighting, a little bit of unorganization, and some of the parties that were involved, and we didn't have it really together. We got to bring it together. The Democrats do it so well, you know, we're gonna use their playbook on them. And I'm already hearing that for the mail-ins, you know, we don't like mail-ins, but I'm hearing that we're gonna probably capitalize on the mail-ins and try to turn the tables a little bit on that until we perfect the ballot problem, the election problem here in Arizona.
George, I think, sorry to interrupt, but that's a really good point that you make, because we have to really kind of pay attention to what the Democrats do. And they're and I know I've said this before, but Newt Gingrich says Republicans are focused on campaigns, the Democrats are focused on elections. And we do actually need to be more like that, because you have to look at the longer picture, because we got to win some of these races, you know, especially. And that's why I'm glad we're kind of partnering with Arizona, because there are a lot of conservatives in New Mexico. They may not all be registered in our party, But the more I get into the politics here, the political scene, and back me up on this, Zeke, if you will, I think we have a very good amount of people who are conservative.
Right. Yeah, it's just not culturally appropriate to be a Republican. You know, until Trump came around, the Latinos, Hispanics just didn't really have too strong of a voice in the Republican Party. And they did in the Democratic Party, but it was always very controlled and very limited. But, you know, the Republican Party shortcoming here in New Mexico, I don't know how it is in Arizona. I was just having a meeting with a woman in a Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, and they had 13 unopposed races over there in that county. The Democrats just jumped in there and won. So our biggest problem here in New Mexico, and again, I'd be interested to see how you guys deal with it, is that we just don't have any real leadership in procuring, recruiting candidates for these races. And that's kind of what my job is with the CCIA. I'm finding candidates, so that way these guys don't run unopposed. Did you guys ever deal with these races being unopposed at all?
Well, that's what Mr. Our chairman DeWitt is. He's going to go from the ground up. He's going to go with the school boards. He's going to go for the open seats. He's going to go all in on all the races, not just the big senatorial race or the House races. He's going from the bare bottoms and with the PCs and all the LDs. And I might add, well, we start here, and I think we're going to start it with our chairman DeWitt. It's going to carry over to New Mexico. And I think we can help New Mexico in their struggle, because it's a struggle you guys have over there, to get candidates and show them the template that Mr. Our chairman, Jeff DeWitt, is going to be using. And we could share that information and make it work out for you guys.
That's fantastic news. Thank you for sharing that. I will be watching Mr. DeWitt even more closely now. And even if he doesn't get directly involved with our party here, I can at least show what you guys are doing directly, because I know the chairman of our party here. I know him personally. I can show, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. There's no more excuses to let these races go unopposed. I think those grassroots movements, if you guys weren't capitalizing on it before, I'd be willing to bet y'all are going to freaking dominate now come these next election.
And I think the county is going to do almost the same thing, but not as big as Chairman DeWitt's going to do it. But the county with Shelby as first vice chair and Greg as chairman, things are going to change. They're going to get more involved in the ballot, try to change the way the ballots are handled, try to change mail-ins in a way that works for everybody, for us as a party. And I think Shelby's going to do a great job. I have a lot of faith in her and in Greg, because they're both in the same frame of mind. They're not divided. I think before we had a divided party in certain ways.
George, Shelby is the first vice chairman of the county.
Yes, yeah, of the county, yes.
And then also for people that are watching who may not be familiar, in New Mexico, our state chairman for the GOP is Steve Pierce.
Steve Pierce, right. And I understand there's a Pierce brother in Arizona as well that's in politics. Is that right? Have you guys heard?
More recently, I'm really glad you mentioned that. We lost an icon of GOP politics in Arizona, Russell Pierce.
Pierce, yes.
He was responsible for putting the 1070 bill together.
What's that?
Illegal aliens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, trying to do that. And they were trying to call Arizona racist because we wanted to protect our borders. Recently, he passed away.
Oh, really?
Great guy, very good friend.
He was a Senate president, right? At one time.
I heard that they were polar opposite, that Mr. Pierce in Arizona, they're brothers, is the complete opposite of the Steve Pierce that we have
Well,
here.
that is Russell Pierce is, I think it's IER.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so
okay.
maybe is there another Pierce that I'm not thinking of, George? And the actual brothers?
From what I heard, yeah.
Okay, we gotta check that
We'll
out.
look into it.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I think Steve Pierce is related to the Pierce family. I've heard the name, so yeah.
Well, we're gonna keep them in line. I mean, as best as we can. We're fed up here, and we love listening to you guys and how you guys handle things. This is beautiful stuff here, guys.
Yeah, we have some big things coming. We have a year and 9 months, a year and 10 months to make this happen. And everybody's got to get together. And if he comes on board and comes on our show, the chairman, Chairman DeWitt, if he comes on board, or either through Zoom or in person, and rallies the troop, you guys will be involved because you'll be on the same Zoom, and people that watch your show from over there will see how he's doing it, and we're gonna benefit from both shows, and I think it'll spill over to New Mexico in a way that is a good, positive way, where people have faith and hope that all is not lost because it's a Democratic run city or community. It can be done. People are, like you said last week and the week before, that Hispanics and Latinos are conservative by nature. We were raised actually conservative, but because our family was Democratic and everything was Democrat, you get raised as a Democrat. But as you get older and you start to realize what conservatism is and what the liberal agenda is, then you start falling more towards a conservative because you know you are a conservative. That's why Alice, yourself, myself, we were Democrats, and it I would never go back. As a Republican now and as conservative, I would never go back to be a liberal. They're nuts. They're crazy. I mean, they turn you off so they don't hear the truth. And it's like, it's crazy.
May I interrupt you? So you're talking about Pierce being related to the Pierce here, and my bad, because it is P-E-A-R-C.
Oh,
Russell Pierce, and our Pierce is also same. So I'd love to find that out.
They are.
Just kind of
They
look
are.
at their-
I heard, because when I had met Carrie Lake at Taylor, Arizona, and her people were talking about it, how different they were, how, yeah, they're related. There's a big family, big old Mormon family apparently.
And they are Mormon.
Right.
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. And forgive me, I didn't know that. See, I'm learning something every day.
But they don't talk to each other. They have different approaches to the Republican Party. Our chairman identifies primarily with Mr. Pence, former Vice President Mike Pence. And that is something that our people here in New Mexico, we didn't want the new RNC chair. We all were looking for Mike Mandel. And our chairman put out an email saying that, hey, despite everybody emailing me saying that we didn't want, what's it, Rhonda McDaniel, right? We didn't want her. He picked her for X amount of reasons. So there's a clear difference in the Republican Party and the grassroots people here in New Mexico. Clear distinction. It's conservative by nature, but we're at a point now where the people we want a voice in the Republican Party. We just haven't had it. We haven't had it. So we're taking aim from learning from you guys and pushing on our end as much as we can. Locally, the local elections is the main thing. So if you guys weren't focusing on that before, man, you guys are going to fall into a whole nother ball of energy that is going to really synergize you guys to state. You guys are going to be like the new Texas. Watch.
And we're planning. We're still in the talking stages. That me and Eric we're planning to go out there and do a show. It'll be a one-time show, but we're planning to some big things. So it's like, and we're going to be talking to Turning Point USA to see if we could do a studio there. So those are things in the planning stages, and you're going to see a lot of changes coming up because we're going to make this happen this year. And like Alice said, you want to do swag, hats, T-shirts, and we're going to offer that to our listeners, to our Chiefsteros, both in New Mexico and here in Phoenix, a way to be part of the Chips and Salsa show more by purchasing a hat or a T-shirt, and the money would be going to the shows to progress our shows. So that's coming.
And that's a great time to put in a little commercial for, please, if you're watching this broadcast, like our Facebook page. We kind of got limited a while back when they started paying more attention to us. So we would talk about controversial things. Tell your friends so we can get more likes. And we're going to be, I know you set up a Rumble page for us.
Yeah, we're on that. We're getting on the Rumble.
We're on YouTube also. We have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that. And we have it. Now, can they subscribe already to the Rumble? How does that work?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No,
Okay.
but it's in there. It's in the works. But, and then real quick to go back to the Democrat, because I'm glad you brought up the Democrat thing, because this is something that it's kind of been coming up a lot lately, because the Democrats, I have a different perspective on them now, because I've personally experienced some of the most generous humans that I've ever met are Democrats. They really are. Now, when we start talking politics, I have really good friends that are Democrats, really close friends. And when we start talking politics, it's just like you said, for whatever reason, they shut you down. They just shut you off. They don't even want logic or truth. The way we see it is logic and truth, because and what I learned is it's the news that they watch. One of my friends watches CNN religiously. He's been watching since he was a kid. Him and his dad's a doctor. and my other friend who's a farmer, and they're both Latinos, both Hispanics. He's been watching MSNBC since he was a kid, you know? So
Yeah.
whenever we talk politics, they kind of regurgitate whatever it is that they see. But aside from that, they're very good human beings. They're very generous.
Oh, yeah.
What the TV does is basically teaches people to project the goodness that they see in themselves and other people onto everybody. I just don't think these people have been fully really introduced into the evil that is really in this world and that really dominates the political world. So I want to just throw that out there because I'm sure some of my Democrat friends are listening to that. I do have a good relationships with a lot of Democrats. I really do.
And
However,
the thing is, and you
they
could
are-
be, yeah, and you could be in a good relationship and stuff, but slowly it takes time to show them conservative values versus liberal values, how you can join the two, or how you can move more towards a conservative slash liberal or conservative slash independent. That's stuff that we can work on. And I don't mind having a Democrat sit here and discuss something with them, but I'm not gonna back down and say, well, no, yeah, you're right. We're gonna have a constructive conversation. They'll have their say so, we'll have our say so. We might not agree, but we'll come to terms that, hey, you know what? These are things that we should look into, you know. And if it's something they say that makes sense, you know what? I'm gonna look into that. You might be right. Maybe I'm looking at it in a different perspective, but I know what a conservative is. Liberal is not a bad word. Liberal is just the way you think and the way you process information. So I like your idea because you can't make them all enemies, but you can bring them into your fold slowly by showing them the facts on both sides. Let them decide. Because if it go ahead.
Part of what this show is, to give information and to educate and inform, just like our coalition does, a coalition of conservatives in action. Because as you were saying, once you mention to somebody, a lot of people in New Mexico still don't know abortion is legal up until birth, and they're just like, what, really? And they don't know.
I didn't really know until recently. So I started getting involved with like running for office and stuff. I was like, damn, this is really bad. This is something we got to work on. And now they're pushing transgender bills. And like, I was listening to a podcast, this poor guy, he was brainwashed to get the transgender reassignment surgery. And he got out, they cut it from his hole up, all gone. And he is just miserable. He's really depressed.
I saw that one.
You see that? Did you hear about that? He wishes he could go back and change, but there's nothing you can do.
And you feel bad. You feel bad that she was sucked into that. At the time, it sounded good to her, and it sounded like it made sense. But when she actually, after she did it all, and when she came to her senses, it was too late. She had, she had already done those operations. It's non-transferable or non-reversible. You can't undo what you did. What it is, our job as parents, as educators, as spokesmen, is to tell the future children, this is two sides, but if you go this side, it's non-reversible.
But George, you bring up talking about children, like Zeke was mentioning in New Mexico. If you have your kid in the school and they need an aspirin or something, I think they have to get permission from the parent. But now it's getting to where, you could push them towards an abortion, you could push them towards transgender. What the heck?
That's not right.
We got legislation right now. They're giving the teachers authority to start discussing the transgender operations with the children without the parent being around now. And that's
that's why we need to get into the school boards. Get more people elected to the school boards that make decisions and attend the PTAs, attend the district meetings. And if they're strong enough in the school boards, then you could start seeing that change. It's not going to happen overnight. But the voice could continue, the voice of reason, the voice of the counter voice to what they're doing has to continue until we do get people in the boards and as a school superintendent. We were lucky to get Horn as our school superintendent elected here. And Alice remembers we we've interviewed him, and
Sure.
he's come on our show. He's great, and he's a great superintendent. We
Tom Horn, Superintendent of Public Instruction in
Yes.
Arizona, he served before as in that capacity. And also under his wing, he's got some great people on his team, including our good friend Margaret Garcia Dugan. And she was a former principal, I think it was Cortez High School out there in Arizona. She dealt with the gangs. I mean, these people are so educated about education. And at least you guys in Arizona, you guys didn't get every office that we would have liked, but that's going to be a really good one, because at least their job, I believe, is to watch over. They're not the individual school boards, things like that, but they can keep things in line. And I have a lot of confidence with Superintendent Tom Horn. You're right.
and I think like what our chairman DeWitt wants to do from the ground up, from the school boards, from the city councils, we have to start making our move. This is the year that we make our move, and the year that will assist New Mexico in with ideas on how they could start making their move and actually do something and create a dent in New Mexico, even if it's a little dent. What was that?
You said Mexico. I know you meant New Mexico. And I
What did I
correct you.
say? Did I say Mexico? Did I say Mexico? I
Most
said
people-
New Mexico? Oh,
Yeah, that's okay. It's
All
good. We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant. That's why you need to come over here. I have to start saying Nuevo Mexico. Hey, it's gotten better. When I was smaller, if I would travel even to California when I was a kid, they were like, "Oh, you live in Mexico, man?" And I used to just play with them about that. But now we're recognized as a state. Unfortunately, for a lot of negative things, but we are a state.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful state.
It is.
I wish we were still attached to Arizona, Texas somehow, but it's okay. You know what? This is all supposed to happen. We're going to go through some dark times. That's just how it's going to be, guys. Us as a country, as Americans, we were asleep at the wheel. We let these really horrible people take over our country, and now they're destroying everything that we built. But hey, that's just the human condition. We learn the hard way. So here we are coming together. The good ones come together, and we fight at the last minute, just like a storybook movie,
Absolutely. Oh, I do want to talk, George, can we talk for a minute about the 40 Days for Life March, the March for Life we had? I know you guys I think you're getting ready to have one in Phoenix, but this last weekend, we had a March for Life. It's a Southwest Coalition here in Las Cruces. So the good stuff is, we did the parade to end abortion, the 40 days, and the Planned Parenthood facility over in Telshore shut down. However, I understand it's going to be reopening in February. So once again, we're going to be out there with our signs, praying, and in protest of that center.
The praying's everything.
It
I
really
think
is
it is.
powerful.
I think it is.
I agree. So that's why I wore my shirt. See, 40 days for life.
Bam. That's a beautiful shirt.
Isn't it a beautiful shirt?
Yeah, that blue's nice.
It is. But there was a great crowd that showed up in downtown Las Cruces at the plaza. Oh, I see you're talking. I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Did the sound go?
You said you
Okay.
get some feedback on who can hear who.
You know what? Maybe if I go directly here. So I'm sorry, audience.
We'll keep it going.
We'll just keep it going.
So
A great
So,
crowd.
so the main thing, until we find out who can hear who, we'll just keep going with Alice's topic. How many people showed up over there?
I did not read what the number was that showed up, but I'll tell you, where the plaza is downtown.
They can't hear us.
Ah, shoot, that's too bad.
We cut off.
Let's go see.
Yeah, we're still linked up. We're still good.
I was gonna see here if,
It says here.
here we go.
We good?
Okay, if we talk, can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
No, I think we're,
Yeah, we're
okay,
good.
we're still good.
Yeah. We just can't hear you, Mr. Jorge.
Yeah, we can't hear you, so. All right, so George, just to let you know, when you're talking, I don't hear anything on Facebook.
Yeah, he's out. So we'll keep it going. I'll tell Eric, gets hold of us. So you don't know how many people showed up?
I don't know, but what I was getting ready to tell you is in the plaza, it was like about, I would say 75% full. And then what we did is we had our speakers, and then we walked like to City Hall and around by the facility and came back around. A lot of good energy. We did have the protesters, fortunately, with a lot of their ugly signs, and we're not supposed to interact.
How
with
many
them.
protesters?
You know, they're on the square, I'll call it. I saw maybe about 7 or 8, and they were mostly young people. And then over closer to the facility, this is what's fascinating to me. There was like another maybe 10 people there or so. I'm terrible because I'm focused on, on the thing and not trying to interact with them. But what's interesting, I had a lot of people telling me that it was interesting that there were more elder people there, elderly, I should say, and that's what we don't get. Okay, George,
Are we back on with Mr. Jorge? We'll take a little sound check here.
We'll be back.
Here he is.
There you go.
We're back.
Okay, we're back, but I went ahead and signed off. Alice, if you want to go ahead and sign off from your end. Could you hear me? Could you hear me?
Yeah,
We can hear
we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, you want to sign off on your end, and then
And then come back, or what would you like us to
no,
do?
no, we just ended.
You can.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. See you
Thank
next
you.
week, okay?
And then next week, I told them that Valerie Roller is going to be here with Bikers USA for the Second Amendment rally on the 18th of February. So next Tuesday, we're going to have you guys on Zoom. We're going to have Valley Roller here in person with a member of the Bikers USA. It's going to be a great show. We'll go the full hour on that one. It'll start at 3:30. So all the chipsters, stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. We had a great conversation today. You guys are doing great out there. Doing 2 shows now is going to be the norm for us, for you guys, for us. And I'll have another co-host here. So we'll have 2 here, 2 there. And this is going to be great. This is going to be great. And the things happening, they're going to happen. And I hope your show comes up on February 21st. That we have a great turnout. We're going to be announcing it. We're going to be blasting it out so that more people will be listening. It's going to be great. And you guys are just awesome. And what you're doing in New Mexico is awesome. We're going to make a change. You guys are going to make a change, and we're going to make a change. And we're going to make it happen. Little voices, but we have a big reach, and I think people will get the message and they'll start listening and contributing to our show. Okay.
Bruce, thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Later,
See you
guys.
next week, chipsters.
Arizona on the
Rock
next
on.
one. See y'all later. Thank you so much.